What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Sum of All Parts. Got a real deep discussion for you guys tonight. A lot of messed up stuff going on in the world today, for real. A lot, and I'm not going to go too deep into it right now, but we really need to talk about this stuff. So let me go ahead and bring in my panelists. We have Miss Shelly. What's going on, sister?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
All right. Let's bring in my main man, Chris. What's up, brother? You're muted.
Got it. There we go. How you doing, Cash? How's everybody doing?
Good. I love that background. All right, then we got my man, Just Face It. Oh, you're muted too. You're muted. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let's try that one. Whoa. Don't know what was going on there. So let's just bring up my main man, Anthony. Be the change, Rusi.
What's going on, dog? Can you hear me? Mic
Yeah,
check 1 2 and 2. Oh, thank God. How you doing, brother?
I can't cry, man. I'm doing pretty good. Boy, we got a show for y'all today. Let's see if Corey's ready.
Yeah,
Corey?
how we sounding now?
That's way better.
It's all good, man. What's going on?
Oh, man, everything is everything. So, you guys, I hope you had a great day today. I know I've been probably like unreachable. We'll talk about it after the show. A lot going on. A lot of stuff in the works. Big stuff going on. But the topic of today's discussion, I want to talk about racial profiling, okay? And I want to talk about what happened to them two officers, bro. That really pisses me off, and I'm fucking mad. I'm fuming about what happened to them, and it's not okay. It's never okay. That what happened to them is not okay. But we're gonna start it off with racial profiling. And Shelly, I want you to take the lead on this first off. Being a Chicago police officer, you're a police officer in one of the toughest cities in America. So I want you to be the one to start this off and explain to the people why, yes, racial profiling is wrong, but not every situation is racial profiling. And you know what I mean when I say that. So go right ahead, jump right in, talk to the people.
So when people talk about racial profiling, I think that they forget like key elements. And of course, the media leave these key elements out because it doesn't fit the narrative of racial profiling. So when we talk about racial profiling, like they do statistics and they do all these like studies. So when they say, well, the majority of people, let's say, are people of minority, whether it's Black, whether it's Hispanic. So they'll say these are the numbers. That's why the police are racially profiling. But you have to remember that there are more police in minority communities because the people request for there to be more police because there's going to be more police where there's crime. And then, like, if you're in a neighborhood that is predominantly Hispanic, guess what? Your traffic stops are going to be Hispanic. If you're in an area where it's Black, your stops are going to be Black. So when they do that whole study, they don't break that down for you. So they just give you the headline where there's this many Hispanic stop or this many Black stop, and then only this amount of male whites or female whites or whatever the statistic is. They don't put in all those contributing factors. So again, like I think that they focus on what they want to focus on. They don't take into account that there are more police in areas that are predominantly like where there's more crime. There's more police where there's crime. So of course there's going to be twice as many stops there.
Exactly.
And then if it's a Hispanic neighborhood, guess what? Your stops are the majority of your stops are going to be with Hispanic people. So those are the little details they tend to leave out because it doesn't fit their narrative.
Okay, so I want to ask everybody here, and Chris, I want you to take this one, man. Is there ever been a situation in your life where you feel that you was racially profiled by the police? If so, why do you feel you're racially profiled by the police? And if not, then why do you think you were not racially profiled by the police?
All right. So for me, I can't say I was racially profiled. I believe I was profiled. I believe that they were looking at me for the activities that were going on. Was it because I was Mexican? No, I don't believe that. I believe it was because of my actions and what I was doing. So for me, yes, in my city, a lot of it was white and Hispanic. Demographics and location play a big part of it. So when I was arrested and pulled over that night and pulled out of my car and handcuffed, it wasn't because I was Mexican. It was because I was up to no good, and they had been following me for a while. So that's kind of where I was at with that. So no, I think demographics plays a big part.
Okay, what about you, Corey?
I do feel like I've been racially profiled before, but I don't think that it was wrong. I mean, when you doing certain things in certain neighborhoods, and those neighborhoods are, say, in my situation, predominantly black. Okay, so we know what we're doing over there. We know what we're doing, and the police know what we're doing too. So if we getting pulled over, it's because they know what we was doing. That's the bottom line. So, and the reason why I say it's racially profiling, because racial profiling, because if it wasn't, see, let me give you an example of what I'm saying. If a white dude, when white people go to that same neighborhood, they get to keep going because they know what we're doing. So to an extent, it's racial profiling, but it's like not. I mean, I know I'm kind of contradicting myself, but it's justified, man. I mean, you know what you're doing, they know what you're doing, so don't act like when you get pulled over, you don't know what's going on. That's right. The bottom line.
Okay, Russo, how about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been racially profiled, except the fact that, I mean, I would say the word obviously, but I remember as a kid growing up, they always told us, didn't matter. I mean, I was in the suburbs, didn't matter what race you were. Don't wear, if you're 16, 17, 18 years old driving a car, don't wear a hat at night. Don't wear a hat backwards, because it makes you look like you're young, makes you look like you might be irresponsible, and they'll just pull you over for nothing. So I don't think that's racial profiling, but it is profiling of, a young driver. At the same time, I like to speak to this from people that I do know, that you and I have a slightly different opinion on this one. I know of my close black friends, Curtis being one of them, that has several instances in his life where he's been pulled over. He's talked to me about 3 very specifically, where he's a black dude dressed really well in a suburban neighborhood getting pulled over for rolling through a stoplight or not stopping to take a right turn. So I do think racial profiling is a thing. And actually, to be honest, I think it is an issue to a point, depending on the community. That's the issue that I think we should be talking about instead of police killing black men. I think that actually is an issue because it leads to a little bit of frustration and anger personally. So for me, no, but in my circle, yes.
Okay. Well, for me, let me say it like this, man. Of course, I'm not going to say that racial profiling doesn't happen. Of course, sometimes you get that one cop who got the job for a wrong reason, and I won't even call him a cop. He's just somebody that should not have that badge. He's a disrespect to the badge, and I'm sorry for the people that have been racially profiled. However, every instance is not racial profiling. Not in the way that you think. Yes, you might get racially profiled, but it's not because they are racist. What do I mean by that? Meaning, say you got a white girl, blonde hair, blue eyes, in a Corvette, right? And she comes driving through the hood. And in this hood, it's all Latin and all black. And the police in that community know that this is a high drug area. And usually you see a certain type of car or a certain type of person. So when they see this girl, who happened to be a white girl driving a nice car, doesn't look like she's from around here, they may pull her over thinking that she has drugs. Why? Because white girls go to the hood to buy drugs, at least in my instance. You know what I'm saying? So yes, that would be an instance of racially profiling somebody, but not because they're racist. They're trying to look for things like that. They're trying to look for things that stand out, things that are not normal. And that would be something that's not normal. So people, what I'm saying is stop crying, thinking that the police are pulling you over because you're white or you're black or you're brown just because they're racist. No, you look like somebody out of the ordinary in that area. That's what it is. Where I'm from, there's black, white, brown. Everybody gets pulled over. And it depends on what they get pulled over for, but it's literally nothing to do with race, damn near in every instance in my life. All right. So, yeah, just wanted to touch on that real quick. But the main thing that I wanted to talk about today, I don't know the standard of face or of YouTube, if I could show this or not, but I'm gonna show it anyway. It's some messed up stuff, bro. I hope to God I could show this without getting like banned or whatever, but I'm gonna show this. Hold on. What'd you say, Russo?
No, I was directing traffic. You're good.
Okay. All right. Well, look.
Actually,
right now,
did you see there's a link that I sent that you might want to play after this one. So yeah, there's a link that I sent in our group chat that is of a guy laughing about this after they block traffic. So it's a good follow-up, but I know what you're going to show, and I think you're fine on community standards. You should be fine.
Okay, but there's also another one I want to show. I want to show you a cartoon that they're showing our kids. This is what's being pushed. This is why the situation is getting worse. So right now, Russo, give an introduction to the video of what happened last night. Talk about what happened last night while I get this ready, all right?
Yeah. So you're showing the video, I'm assuming, of the dude that ends up it's literally an assault, and you can't say sniper. It's just an absolute absurd, just walk up and killing it's an assassination. That's the word I'm looking for. It is an assassination of police officers, plain and simple. It is a guy walks up to a cop car. Cop looks like they even rolled their windows down thinking they were going to help the person, pulls out a gun, shoots them multiple times. One shot in the head, one is shot in the face, and they're currently fighting for their life as we speak. And it's on a surveillance video, which makes it even more of an absolute nightmare. So I think Cash is bringing that video up, I assume. And then the worst part is, and you'll see, and I'm sure he'll bring this up later, you're going to see that people were blocking traffic for the police officers' ambulance to get there, and people were celebrating this, which to me is mind-boggling.
Yeah, definitely is. So right now, you guys, this is very hard to watch. So I just want to make you guys aware of that before I hit play on this, that it is tough to watch and it's messed up. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and share this for you guys so you all can see this messed up situation. Okay, so that was the first one. Two sheriffs sitting on the job, and this man just comes up point blank range and opens fire on these two police officers, man, in Compton. The next thing I'm going to show you. Russo, go ahead, talk to him about it real quick.
Yeah, so this next video he's going to pull up. So the next video he's pulling up is literally a guy that's on Twitter. It was actually shared by an actor that's a Republican. I know, James Wood. It's very rare that you hear that word, those combinations together. And it's a guy legitimately celebrating the fact that he's literally laughing at how these cops just got shot, laughing at the fact that they're blocking the ability for medical people, medical staff, professionals to get to the hospital. It's just an absolute. It shows the complete degradation of our society at this point. Yeah, he said, "I hope you all die. I hope they die." All that stuff. It's absolutely absurd. So I know he's pulling that one up. Shelly, to me, this is one of those ones you start seeing, and as a police officer and with family, and I saw your other post, which I think is absolutely absurd, that your niece is one of those people that I'm sure you've helped as a family member and all these different things, and she's literally an all cops. Yeah. So tell, I mean, mine is right now. I mean, the fact that there's just a lack of respect across the board is just terrifying. I think Cash is going to pull this up right now.
Yeah, I was gonna wait to comment until he plays the video.
Nigga just aired the police out, nigga. They just aired the police out, nigga. It go up in Compton. Them niggas just got aired out, cuz. They just bust on them niggas, cuz. That's crazy. Damn. Oh, it goes down in Compton. Oh, they just got bust off. That nigga on a knee. Damn. Police just got aired out, nigga. They just got bust on, nigga. They just got aired out. They just got aired out, nigga. It's going up. Somebody bust on their ass. Yeah. Somebody bust on the police, nigga. Damn, nigga. Oh. Oh, 2 sheriffs shot in the face. 2 sheriffs shot in the face. They tripping. It's going up in Compton. Niggas bust on the police, nigga. Nigga. They just got aired out. Somebody ran up on the car and bust on their ass. Right through the window, in the face and all, nigga. It's a wrap.
Now, let me just point something out. First off, this piece of shit is glorifying the fact that these officers get shot. Okay? No matter, I don't give a fuck if you hate police worse than anything in the world because, you know, they've done something to you or whatever the fuck the case may be. Why, how can your humanity not kick in? And you see somebody just get shot. And instead of bragging about how they got shot and the police is down, they shot 2 sheriffs and all this shit, why not go up there and say, yo, I fucking hate y'all, but I'm calling 911 right now. Where's the humanity? What the fuck is wrong with them people? I don't understand that. I don't get it. That's somebody's son, probably father, brother, uncle, cousin. It's a human being. Because he's wearing a uniform, he deserves to get shot. Go ahead, Shelly.
Whew. I couldn't even watch it, like watching it in the comments. I could not watch the whole thing, to be honest. So for me, these officers are sitting in their car, and if I'm not mistaken, one is a female. Not that it makes a difference that she's a female, right? But one is a female, I believe one is male. So they're sitting in their squad car, minding their own fucking business. And sorry, I might use a couple curse words because it's truly triggering. So they're minding their own business. This POS walks up and just unloads into the car, right? And then takes off. Nobody comes to help them, but everybody got their fucking cell phone out to record it, you know, so that they can get views, because that's what our society has come to.
Yep.
And they're literally sitting in their car doing whatever they're doing, right? And they get lit up. One gets shot in the head, the other one gets shot in the face, I believe. One is more critical than the other. Not to mention this guy, or whatever he is, recording it, and like, you know, like it's normal to them, right? It becomes normal. It's a part of like what normal is to us now. It becomes our norm, right? Or not our norm, but his norm. So then, not to mention that there's video of protesters lining up at the fucking hospital and not allowing ambulances to come in.
Yep.
To treat other people, not just the police who are already there, because the police are getting in. right? But there's other sick people that come in and out of an ambulance, and now the ambulance workers are at risk because what are they going to do? Fight with them? And then you have them chanting like, I hope they die, I hope this.
No
all
justice, no
because,
peace, like fucking morons.
right, all because of the uniform they wear. Like, usually people will make excuses like, oh, well, that's in the line of duty. This is the job. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard, this is the job you signed up for. No, this is not the job I signed up for. Yes, I will gladly die for each and every person out there because, yes, I understand that that is part of my reality, but not because I'm simply sitting in my squad car doing absolutely nothing wrong. I'm not engaging with someone. We're not in a physical altercation where that the risks are so much higher. You're literally minding your business and you basically get assassinated. I mean, yes, they're still alive, thank God, and I hope that they make it through, but just the aftermath of that. So this becomes normal to people, and I think what people who are not police, who have not been the police, do not know, these are things we deal with all the time. Mm-hmm. This is like seeing that, yes, it triggers me, but that does not mean like I'm mind blown, like, oh, I'm shook. I deal with that every day. They are so desensitized to things, and it is so normal that that is what our society is pushing. That is what mainstream media is pushing. That is what all these political agendas are pushing.
I'm trying to tell you.
Tell me again where the police are the fucking problem. Don't get me wrong.
They haven't been.
Defend bad police. I do not defend bad police. And there are bad police officers out there, none that I know. But again, when you normalize this type of behavior and it just becomes, everything is so desensitized, this is the shit that happens.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly right. You know, it's fucked up. What's really fucked up is this is only going to inspire other people. That's the messed up part, because people have been making a little pact that this is what they're going to start doing. But to actually see someone doing it, and it shows you about the media. You know what I'm saying? The media, instead of just reporting and saying, or showing the two officers saying that these two officers were shot in the line of duty, they're fighting for their lives right now, please pray for them or whatever. No, instead they show the video.
And if I was the superintendent of police, wherever that hospital is, I think it's in it was in Compton, right? Yeah. If I was the superintendent of police, I'd say lock all of their asses up.
I agree.
You're trespassing, one. You're preventing people from getting in and out, getting medical care, especially we're in the middle of a pandemic. Lock their ass up. Get them out of there.
I agree 100%.
This is what happens when you don't take steps to stop stuff like this from going out of control.
I completely 100% agree. Corey, how you feeling about all this, man? What did you feel when you seen this?
Man, I'm like disgusted. And just like Shelly said, the problem is that we have been desensitized. It's bad, man. I mean, I'm kind of lost for words. Let me get it together. Listen, man, we've been desensitized, and I'm gonna say something that a lot of people might not want to hear. We got to go after the things that are desensitizing us, because we are putting ourselves in a very dangerous predicament. And when I say that, I'm talking about music, man, rap music. I'm big on that. This rap music is killing us, Cash. It's killing us.
I agree.
I'm telling you, man, if we don't go after that, that's one of the things that we need to go after heavily is this music, because it's tearing us apart. These video games, I'm sorry to say it, I know a lot of people love it, but I'm just keeping it real. These video games, all this stuff is killing us, and it was all set up intentionally to get us to this point. And so what they put out to do is working on us, man. It's working, and it's disgusting. But like you said, how do you sit there and look at two people, anybody, whether you hate them, whether you're racist, whatever you are, how can you sit there and look at two people shot like that, and you just got your camera sitting up there talking about, oh, look at what they did, dog. And these people that's doing this, they think it's funny. They think it's cute, but when the funk jump off, it's gonna get ugly for them. And I'm gonna be at the house chilling, because I'm not going out there playing them games with these people, man.
I'm tell you, bro. I agree 100%. Straight up. I agree.
Yeah.
I've been saying that shit for a minute about the music, bro. The music glorifies all of this shit that's going on today. Yes, everything that's wrong with the country today, a lot of it can be changed with the music, just by what the kids listening to. And you know, while you brought up the music, I want to bring up something else, and I'm going to give Chris and Anthony a chance to jump on this too as well. But I want you guys to see this right now, because it's going to fucking shock you the way that it just shocked me when I seen it, bro. It's that bad. This is what they're showing these kids, man. Let me go ahead and, matter of fact, go ahead, Anthony, weigh in real quick. Muted on my. Okay.
Yeah. So I think like what you're talking about with the music is very interesting. I think the music is the start. It's kind of like you look at the Zoolander mentality of a trigger. And I think the music is a setup. The music puts us in a place like where we're at right now. And then the media starts and dropping these nuggets and dropping these stories and targeting it. And it leads to this kind of chaos and this kind of lack of give a shit. And ultimately, to me, I think to me, this is a open and shut class action lawsuit for police against the media. Like the young kid that had the MAGA hat on that ended up suing for hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't think he got that, but he got a decent amount. To me, this is an absolute open and shut case where you have every police officer that's been gunned down in the line of duty in something like this. And this is not the first time this year this kind of assassination has happened. So you look at this, to me, this is a 100% case for a lawsuit to me. It's blatant that the mainstream media, if you come and go to a court and go, they're saying that we killed black youths, and they say, well, how many? And you say 9. To me, that's just, and the way that it's perpetuated. If I wasn't willing to actually do any research and I just watch sound bites, I would think right now that black youths and males are being killed at an astronomical rate, but it's friggin' 9. Not just more than the amount of police assassinations this year on a much smaller population. We've used the music has brought up the issue and brought up has glorified it and glamorized it, and then the media has given a license to kill.
I'm telling you. And then you know what? Like I was saying, man, with that guy, this is something he had to have had some type of bias or anger towards the police for a long time for him to sit and watch the way that he did and to give the narrative the way to narrate the way that he was narrating about this officer, both of these officers being shot. Okay. Now makes you think, why? Why do people feel this way? Even kids walking around with signs and fuck the police and all of this, right? I'm going to show you why right now. And then I want you to weigh in on this one, Chris. All right. So let's listen to this.
Hey, what are you doing? Huh? Jaywalking. Stop right there. What? Stop right there. Stop. Well, no. Stop. No. Get down. Get down right now. Get down on the ground. You are such an arrest. No, cooperate. You know jaywalking is against the law. It's a federal offense. What are you doing? Don't you move. Don't you touch me. Okay, back up. This is Officer Shu responding to a request for backup. What seems to be your problem here? This man was jaywalking. All right, stand back. Let me handle this. Son, put your hands up right now. Son, I'm asking you to put your hands up. Son, if you do not put your hands up, I'll be forced to use this firearm to dispose of your threat. Son, are you listening to me? Don't you play dumb, son. He's reaching for. All right, you asked for it, motherfucker.
I'm going to stop it right there because I don't know if I can show what happens next, but you already know what happens next in the video.
What is that?
It's a cartoon.
No.
Yeah.
For who? For kids?
I don't know. All I know is it's on a TV, and anybody with cable can see something like that. That's part of the problem. This is part of the problem. The shit that gets put out through the media, through the television shows, through the radio, all the things that people in power that have to approve things that come through our TVs. It has to be approved before it gets put on a network. Why would that be approved? Why would something like that be approved?
Because it creates division.
Exactly. Chris,
Propaganda.
Chris, go for it, man.
All right, so that video was a little rough. That cartoon, that's propaganda. But I wanted to go back to where we're asking why, and I know Shelly said that, it's the norm. I, I think the way we're doing it now, we're taking that shift. This has been a norm, and when I speak, I specifically speak about my state because that's all I really know. So California, this has been the norm. This is not something that just started. We're talking 80s, mid 80s. It was something that was pushed from Oakland to Compton. You had NWA. They were pushing music out like this. This is something I grew up around, listening to Bone Thugs and Harmony. Some of the stuff that they were saying. You have all these old school rap groups, but they were how do you say, pushing it and putting it in the mainstream. But this was something that we were doing on these streets before that. We were lifting that type of behavior up. We just put it out there for everybody to see. So this isn't just the media. This goes back farther, and it's a lot deeper than that. What the problem that we have is that the media's grabbed that because they know that drama and that type of stuff sells. So they've taken it, they glamorized it, they put it out into CDs, they push their narratives in the movies that we watched. There was so much from the 80s, the 90s were like that, at least for me, up until the mid 2000s, and then I start to see this dwindle, almost like it went away. There wasn't as much talk about racism, if at all. There wasn't as much. It became more about the money and the flashy stuff that people were doing, the gold chains, the grills. We swayed away. Music kind of swayed away from that. You still got some, but I know for a long time, especially early 2000s, you could look on MySpace or YouTube, and there was dudes on there posing with their ARs, and you'd see them like this, taking a picture.
Yep.
It's what we did, and we started moving away from that. And so what I'm getting to is that I think this has been the norm. I think where the new norm is that the media knows that it sells, so they've taken this, they've fed it to us for the last 6 months because they've locked us down. We have almost nowhere to go. We have to see this stuff. I watched football today, and they're constantly pushing this narrative. You see it so much, some people start to believe it, and it's propaganda because there's a bigger agenda being pushed. But I agree with I think just face it. You said something like the music, Grand Theft Auto. When you were saying that we're talking video games, that's what popped into my mind. I used to play it, and then I got to this point, was like, man, this is not teaching me anything. And then my sons watch me play it. I mean, I don't want them to think that this stuff is cool, because death is not cool. Drugs are not cool. And if you've ever lost somebody to drugs or to gang violence, it's the same feeling that when a cop loses a fellow, another cop, or a soldier loses one of their fellow soldiers. Like, death is death. I shouldn't say we all. Some of us don't feel it at all, and that's why you get guys like this, because he ain't thinking. But the rest of us feel it, and it's not right, man. But I think this, and they it's propaganda. They're pushing it to fit a narrative.
I agree 100%. How did that cartoon make you feel, Shelly? Being an officer.
I'm just like, it doesn't surprise me, to be honest. Especially when I believe like there's just more to this push to have that narrative that police are out here killing male blacks at an unprecedented rate, when in actuality, like, that's not the case at all. So I think that it doesn't surprise me at all. Like, and it doesn't surprise me that they're catering to kids. Like, I was looking into a bunch of like groups, like places I could volunteer here in my city. So when I started looking into them to like give back to communities, and there's like Asada's daughters that are here, and they start training girls at the age of 6. And it's on their website, like, it's clear, and they tell you that they teach them to be radical Marxist. And when I started looking into these groups, that's kind of how I learned more about it. So watching that video, is it heartbreaking to me, because do I know some officers who would give their life in a heartbeat for someone they didn't ever meet? I do know people like that. So it just doesn't surprise me, though, because I guess in the same way I'm desensitized to it, in a sense.
I hear you.
I mean, it's not something I would let my children watch or let my granddaughter watch. But somebody was talking about like the music, and I just wanted to touch really quickly. Like, I grew up in the hood. Like, I grew up on NWA. I used to be walking around, but I think times in a sense are a little different because I used to grow up walking around singing "Fuck the Police" and I said it with authority too, like bumping it, right?
Right.
But then when I think back to it, like, I can't believe I used to jam to that, right? But when I think back, like, I was saying words without meaning what I was saying. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Where I think that now it's literally taking more literal.
Yes.
Like, that's how far we've come. That, people say it now and they mean that shit like wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
So
Go
it
ahead.
doesn't surprise me.
Go ahead, Corey. How about you, man? How does that make you feel seeing that?
To be honest with you, I was gonna say the same thing that Shelly said. It seemed normal now, man. I mean, it's we've been desensitized to it, but we still have to have enough common sense and enough empathy and sympathy to understand that this is not right. And that goes back to teaching. We don't teach our kids. When I say we, I mean some people, not us. But we're not teaching our kids correctly. We're not teaching them nothing. And in fact, we glorify it. We think we call this cute, like this guy in the video. Man, he bust on the police. That's cool now. That's like what's happening. That's the new cool. So that's the problem, man. I mean, even though I hate to say it, but I'm desensitized to it. It don't surprise me. And it almost don't make me feel like nothing because I expect it and I've seen it so much, but I also recognize that it's evil. And that's what we have to do is we have to have our monitors on and know that it's evil and know how to properly teach our children that is evil. And I want to say something else real quick too, man. I am a strong Trump supporter, but I think we need to make a call out to Trump and say, look, man, that's it. It's time to do something, make a move, because this is getting out of control and we about to lose way too many lives, man. I mean, he got to do something at this point.
I agree. And thank you so much, Mustang. I appreciate you for the love, man, for using the super chat, especially to let me know that the connection is bad, that we keep cutting out. But I don't think that it is cutting out for everybody because I feel like it's running smooth. I'm looking at the chart right here and my connection is like perfect for once in my life. So yeah, I don't know if it's on my end or not. But thank you for real for that donation, man. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, so everybody knows, by the way, I'm sorry I didn't introduce this to everybody on here, but super chats is for if you want your comment to be highlighted on the screen, you can do like he did, like a little, $1, $2, $3, $5 donation, whatever, or whatever you want to put, and your comment will come up on the screen and it will throw me off and I will say connection because that's what I just read. So yeah, thank you for that, Mustang. Go ahead, Russo, weigh in on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a weird world that we're like, we put stuff out there that's clearly propaganda, and I think propaganda is the perfect word for whatever is happening, and it causes me to see intelligent people on my feeds that are my friends that feel the need to feel empathetic towards this quote unquote mass genocide from the police to black youth or black males, black adult, whatever. And I don't get it. Like, I don't know how to say, like, it's not happening. And then a lot of the black friends of mine that are still super Black Lives Matter and trying to protect us, and they'll see a cartoon like that and be like, yeah, bro, that's the way it is. And I ask them the question, have you or anybody been in the situation? No, but I've been pulled over like when I was dressed nice. It's bullshit. And I go, well, that's a big difference. Like if you have to address the issue, and then you look at how it's all linked together, and it's really linked to, and honestly, this is the one thing I say, like for somebody like Shelly or any police officer, cartoon or not, take away the cartoon, you go back to the shooting, and people say, why did that guy shoot 7 times? Well, right now, you can't tell me that a cop's not human. Seeing the hate coming from other people feel other things. People see these cartoons and they go, people hate us right now, and this isn't us. So they try to do what they can. They try to do the best they can. They're not allowed to use chokeholds. They're not allowed to use batons. They're not allowed to use all these things. So they have a taser that rarely works, and then they've got a gun. And at the end of the day, right now, there is a race war going on in every police officer's head. They can't, that's a human nature. They're seeing what's happening on the streets, and we're actually all of a sudden putting them in a position that they're going to have a implicit bias, but it's not their fault. They're having an implicit bias because of what's going on in society right now, because of cartoons like this, and because of people that right now are being celebrated for going up and shooting the police, or people that get shot 7 times. It has a potential rape charge against, not a potential, has a rape charge against them, getting celebrated by the VP of a potential VP of the country. That's it.
You know, man, I'm trying to tell you guys, bro, about this whole race thing. That's what I'm promising you. That is what has been by design by people like Black Lives Matter. Notice you still haven't heard the people that started Black Lives Matter come out and speak out against these kind of actions. They will not come out and speak out against these kind of actions ever because they condone it. This is what they want. And one thing that I don't think anybody has touched on yet, why they have not came out, not just because they condone it, but because they want to take away our rights as Americans. And I guarantee you, if the police start getting shot like this did, like these 2 officers yesterday, and it becomes a problem throughout America, they will take our rights.
Can I touch on something real quick that Anthony said?
Yes.
So when Anthony was talking about like it puts us police officers like at a bias, right? So I think for me, I would say it puts you, and we talked about this during another live, like it puts you in a position where you are more afraid. You are constantly looking over your shoulder, like, because you know that this war is real. This is not a made up war. Yep. Like we've had in Chicago, I had 6 of my friends shot within the last 5 weeks. 5 weeks, right? Doing their job, just doing their job. So I think that what happens is when you're constantly, what happens when you're edgy? What happens when you're constantly, you're gonna make mistakes. And I think people don't get it. And I'm not justifying it if a cop does something wrong. Then if you do something wrong, then you know you have to go through the justice system like everybody else, right? But what I'm saying is what people don't see is that how does this help bridge a gap or create unity as people when the police, who are a very small population, someone mentioned it, police as whole is a very small population, and the rate that they are getting shot at or killed or shot is alarming. That's unprecedented. But God forbid you say that, and then you're either called, you're biased, I'm biased because I'm the police, I'm racist because I can't say that I'm 18% more likely to get killed by a male Black than anybody else. Then I become all those things. Like those are conversations people don't want to have, and they need to be had.
Yes, I agree 100%. And you know, let me tell you something. And this is why I love doing some of our parts. Okay, what you just said right now, and I love, by the way, all of you guys, I love how you have been getting your voice. I love how you have been like, you know what, I'm not going to be quiet no more, and I'm gonna speak from my heart, and I'm gonna tell you exactly how I feel, and I don't care if you think that I'm racist, because I know that I'm not. But for Shelly to come out and give you that statistic, and her look, people consider her white, to be a white, you know, female, but she's Hispanic, she is Latin, and Boricua, right? Okay, she's Puerto Rican, all right? And she came out and said—
Puerto Rican and Mexican.
Puerto Rican and Mexican, okay. Well, she still came out and said the statistic, but you know what's funny? Did you know that Shelly has invited me over to her home, me being a Black male, knowing that she is at risk statistically, that it would be a person like me to shoot her? But she still said, man, Cash, I love you, I love your family, and me and my husband would love to have you guys over for dinner sometime. That's just, it kills the narrative, man. When people come together and we have the talks and we talk about the tough shit, the hard shit that they put out in the news, where they want us to think that this cast right here should not even be. This shit shouldn't be a thing. Russo, you shouldn't be my daughter's godfather. Corey, you shouldn't have no ties to Russo. Chris, you shouldn't even know who the hell this guy is. We should be gangbanging against each other if you go by the news.
Is that the
Feel me? It's bullshit. This is why I encourage everybody to create your own sum of all parts in your own community. Get together and talk to the people in your community, regardless of their color, regardless of their affiliation. And Debbie Hens, I love you too. Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm sure Russo appreciates you too. Everybody that's watching right now, we appreciate you guys too, because we're having the discussion and people are listening and they're sharing. We're sharing this open forum talk with other people and creating a dialogue, putting the topics in front of you to go and discuss the points that were made to hopefully bring people more together and to discourage the kind of acts that happened yesterday. It's bullshit.
Can I bring up a point? And I actually, this actually might be a good question for you and Corey, Cash.
One sec, I got you right after we read her.
Yeah.
Melissa said, I don't like a lot of rap music because it sends the wrong message like this. And it's too sexualized, which to me contributes to sex trafficking. 100% agree. 100% agree. It contributes to a lot of things. A lot. It contributes to violence. It contributes to being promiscuous. It contributes to cheating on your spouse. You know what I'm saying? It contributes to selling drugs, to being a stripper. It contributes to a lot of things. I 100% agree. Go ahead, Anthony.
Yeah, and I apologize if you hear squeaking. The dog has got a new toy. But besides that, so this is a thought I had the other night. So I went out. A friend of mine took me out for my birthday. Went to a steak restaurant, which was, every dish is $30+. And to me, in my head, I wanted to get past this possibly being a racist thought. But I looked around, and we were in this higher end restaurant. We were one of 2 tables out of 30 tables that were white. You had East Indian, you had Black, you had Latino, Hispanic. You had all these different. This is exactly the world that we wanted 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago.
Exactly.
We have it. It's not perfect. And if anybody ever thinks things are going to be perfect, then they're unfortunately setting themselves up for failure. But I look around and I go, what is so, I mean, I get, and to me, I was like, is this a racist statement? Because I know I don't get profiled. I know I don't have these things, but I look around and I'm like, this is the America that we wanted. And is that a racist statement? I don't know. Is that, I mean, to settle, like to say, we're not settling, but to me, we're always improving. There's always little things, but to not embrace the fact that we are a different country than we were 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, to me, defeats the whole purpose of progress. We expect it to be perfect tomorrow, and it's never going to be that way.
No, it will not. Dead up. It will never be perfect like people perceive it to be. But you're right. We came a very long way, and we have the America that people fought and died for. And what pisses me off is knowing that. How many people have fought and died for the America that we have today, for a group like Black Lives Matter, and people within that group to come out and say, well, we want segregation. We want our own land. We want this. We want that. Then what the hell did people fight and die for then? We could go all day on that, man. Amanda, I appreciate you so much. And anybody that's a part of Streetlights is one of my favorite people. I appreciate you. And Amber, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Straight up, you stayed. She's like a super Streetlight, bro. Dead up. She makes shirts, sends them to people, not even just like us. She sends them to people that are Streetlights that couldn't get a shirt. She sends them to them. You see, she stays donating her time, efforts, everything. She's a huge part of what we have going on in the back scenes. Y'all don't know that, but she looks out for a lot of other members within Streetlights without even saying shit to me about it or anybody about it. She just does it. She got a huge heart, and I appreciate you, Amber. Okay, so last thing I want you guys to talk about is your final thoughts on all of this stuff, and what would you want America to be, man? If we could change anything going on in this country right now, and if you have something that you could say to maybe switch a heart that may be watching right now or to wake somebody up, what would it be? I'm going to start with you, Chris, because you've been quiet the most, and then you, Corey.
All right. So, so to me, accountability of our actions and parenting, those to me are some big things right there, because one, if we don't have parents in the household paying attention to their kids, watching what their kids are doing, teaching them morals, we don't have nothing. And that's why we're in the situation we're in. It's because parents aren't in the home, and nobody's taking accountability for anything. They're not taking accountability for their kids. They're not taking accountability for their actions. We want to place blame on everything and everybody else because it's easier to do that. It's too hard to be accountable. But if I could leave, I want to leave with this one thing. The big thing I see right now, I do feel like the world was getting better, or I say the nation. Things were going better. And because it was going good, you always have those people that want to see it go bad. So pay attention to the things that you're watching. They are changing the narratives. Most importantly, they're making slight differences to the words and the definitions that those words mean. And I want to leave it with this: racism. Everybody calls everything racist, and it's racism. And they forgot there's the key point to being racist is there's a superiority that goes with it. We see a lot of racial profiling. We see racial prejudice, discrimination, but a lot of times those may ride the border of being racist or racism, but it's a superiority. We overuse that word in everything, and I think that's jacking us up because every time we have a conversation, and we were doing this yesterday with a relative, and that person was like, that's racist. And I was like, in this conversation, I was like, what was racist about it? Because we're talking business and stuff like that, and white people being up here. I'm like, that's not even how you use the word. Those white people don't think they're superior to you. So I just want people to start, when you hear these words, go look them up, because so often you'll find that they're twisting these words, or they're making them new. They're making new definitions that weren't always there just to fit their narrative. And that's all I got.
I heard that. Before you get to going, real quick, I just got to say thank you, Nicole. Nicole, she's amazing as well. She stays right around here by me. She's dope. Mustang, how do you get a shirt? You could go to the Be the Change page on Facebook, or you could go onto my page and you can find the link there. I'll share it after we're done here. I will put it onto my Facebook. Anybody that wants to order shirts, I got you. I'm going to share the link. Russo, you're going to send it to me when you get off here, right? All right, he's going to send me that. We're going to share it on my Facebook page. You'll be seeing that here at 9:40. 9:40, it'll be shared on my page if you want to get that shirt. Thank you so much again for the donation, Nicole. Thank you for the donation. You're dope. Melissa, you say, I might be wrong in my thought process here, but how can they demand reparations while demanding for things to go back the way it was? That's exactly right. I feel you. You just asked a $1 million question. You're exactly right. Maybe they want reparations to be just that. How about we just separate? That's what they want. I can't separate, because then I'll have half of my body somewhere else, and I can't do that. And then my kids, I don't know where they would go, because some are lighter, some are darker. You know, it just wouldn't make sense for me. So I'm not with reparations at all. I don't need reparations. I don't want reparations. And I think it's a stupid ass idea, because a white person today could have been black like 3 generations ago. In the same way, a black person today could have been white just a couple generations ago. So yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Corey.
All right. My final thoughts is the bottom line is we need to wake up. And how do we wake up? We wake up by continuing to do what we're doing, man. Having these conversations, having real conversations, and coming up with solutions instead of just discussing the problems all the time. I learned that more and more people are waking up than what you might think. And I'm sure Cash, Anthony, all of us, I'm sure we all get these messages in our inbox of people saying, wow, man, you know what I'm saying? I never thought of it that way. So we have to maintain the courage that we have in order to keep talking about it. Because, man, listen, we're not rocket scientists here. This stuff is basic, logical, common sense. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is pay attention. And one thing that we missing, man, is love. Love is the answer. We have to teach people how to love, because once we get love out of it, we're done. And that's what's going on right now, man. So we got to get love back in the family, and we got to keep communicating and just keep loving, man. That's it. That's really pretty much all I got to say right now.
You hit it on the head, brother. Good words from a great man. Shelly, I know you got to get up out of here, so you could go ahead and give your final words.
Sorry, you guys, but it's girls' night, and I'm with my 2 daughters. And they're like, wait, what are you doing? I was like, girl, mind your business. And they're both police officers too, actually.
Well, tell them I said, hey, matter of fact, tell them to come on screen real quick so we can all tell them thank you.
As soon as I
No,
say
matter of fact,
I'm
gonna call you when I'm done. I'm gonna tell them thank you, my damn self.
So I want to say, I think that people need to, when we talk about being the change one, I want to say thank you to Cash, Anthony, to all of you guys on here for always being a voice of reason, for always having the open mind to know, in the sense to know that there's good and bad in everything. And I appreciate you guys so much for speaking out. I appreciate you for bringing this topic to the table more than you guys could ever know, more than I could ever say to you guys, because I know so many good officers like me who would give their life.
Yes.
In a heartbeat and not think twice about it. So I want to say thank you guys. I cannot thank you guys enough. That's one thing. Second, I think that you have to be the change that you want to see. Like, I think that for us to start changing, besides these conversations, we have to look at ourselves and what things we are doing. What things can we do? Like those private conversations that we could have with our family and friends. Anthony touched on it earlier, and I have a niece who is like, fuck the police, and you know, she's very blatant about it. Now, mind you, this niece I've done more for this niece like I do for everybody in my family, right? But, and people are like, oh, she's young. I'm like, she's 28. She's not young.
Oh, hell no.
So, yeah, so exactly. So I go through it. Trust me, I go through it. So I think that for me, I had to take a step back, and even in my personal life, like I have to look at how can I be better? How can I reach her? Because I could snap off and I could tell her, you know, like I could go in on her, right? Because that's a personal relationship. But is that going to get through to a mind that's already that far gone? So part of that change is looking at myself and how can I have a conversation with her and be better. And at some point, I just had to cut her off because it's been several things. But I think looking at yourself, being the change you want to see, projecting the change you want to see to people is huge.
I agree.
So I think that's like one of the main things. And the last thing I want to leave people with is that just because I wear a uniform does not mean I'm not a person or a mom or a friend. And I promise to each and everybody that is watching that even if you hate me because of the uniform I wear, I promise that I would sacrifice my life for you if I had to, without heartbeat, without thinking about it.
Man, you don't never see so amaze me, Shelly. I know you got to get up off here. I appreciate you. I'm going to call you when I'm done, okay?
Okay.
All right, my sister.
All right. Bye, you guys.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate you, Shelly.
All right. First off, let me go ahead and say, Melissa and Nicole, thank you guys. I love you guys. Y'all already know. Thank you, for real. I'll be seeing you guys later on tonight, Patreon. Russo, go ahead.
I knew Shelly was going out tonight. She had to be. Did you see that face? She was ready to rock and roll tonight. She was.
Just so you know, Shelly always got herself together. Don't do that.
It was. There's a little bit difference on ladies' night. You know that.
I hear you. Go ahead, man. Talk to him, brother.
Yeah. So if you don't mind, I put a post on my page, and it was a friend of mine that's always super eloquent. He's a police officer. He was actually a first responder on the Newtown shooting. Was it Newtown? The one in Massachusetts. He was one of the first police units on, and he's always seen some really crazy stuff. So I want to share this real quick. He just said, to my friends who have a voice and influence, and Cash, you and I both have this, in circles we're pushing for police reforms and accountability, I'm asking for your help. Please speak out and speak up when you hear the sentiment for some reason that I am a bastard or that I should die or that it is cause to celebrate for. Whoa, wait. Should I explain? I'll explain. I struggle here because it seems sometimes that some, and I'm going to say this again, some of the people who are so vocal about the social dangers of giving hateful rhetoric a public platform seem to have a real problem practicing what they preach, and also acknowledging that there is, in fact, a number, not necessarily representative, of the larger greater good of people who wish harm on police officers simply because they are police officers, and with zero regard for the content of their character. Yes, I see the irony there. Yes, I chose my words carefully and intentionally. And yes, I have put my whole heart into being an active part of the solution. When I see things When I see things like this, it always makes me wonder if I was lying in that hospital, what side of the lines my friends who routinely like and share ACAB, all cops are bastards, and similar memes, I see who you are, would fall on. Would it be, yeah, well, too bad. It's too bad that's what you get. Or would it be, no, guys, you don't understand. He was actually doing the work. Please don't respond with, well, the cops blank, because I've made abundantly clear where I stand and that we need to own our own work and fix our part. And this is not a rallying cry for the lots of Blue Lives Matters, love on my wall. I know many of you love and support me, but quite frankly, I'm embarrassed at how beloved thin blue line symbol has become political propaganda, not representative of its original meaning of, in short, the fact that there are hundreds of thousands of men and women willing to lay down our lives regardless of race, religion, lifestyle, and especially politics. You can curse me and spit in my face, but I am no less willing to trade my life for yours if the situation calls for it. I'm committed to loving and sacrificing myself to you. If you happen to respect me for it, that's a bonus. That's what it is. That's the thin blue line flag means. It is not the new Republican Confederate flag. If that's what you're using it for, you have a direct negative impact on the safety of officers everywhere by fueling the fires of hate that lead to a blocked ER entrance and protests like these. All I ask is the next time you hear a friend say ACAB, you think of me and say maybe SCAB. Some cops are bastards would be at least better. And next time you hear a friend suggest unprovoked violence and hate the police, you suggest an alternative course of action or not. Like I said, I'm here for you either way. Thank you to that police officer.
I love that. Straight up. And shout out to my man Angry Viking. Just so you guys know, he's a part of the squad now. Straight up. Love that dude to death. I did a live with him before we came out into this one, and we went bananas on there as well. I'm a little more toned down right now than I was on his. I think I got a lot of it out before I came on, but I agree, man, with that some cops, and it's a small percentage of cops that are, you know, what they would call bastards, but it blows my mind. I can't even believe that we're having this discussion, especially with all the things that we have came past. You remember when Hillary was called, when Hillary called black people super predators?
Yep.
Yeah.
At that time, and she didn't, like, she made it just broadly like black men are super predators. You know what I'm saying? That's the same shit. Like when you look at what's going on in the world today, and you see how we're jumping on people that are police officers, and they're talking shit about police officers and the ACAB and all of that. It's the same exact thing as her calling black people super predators. And then before that, when you had them thinking that black people were all murderers and rapists and thieves. And then before that, when it goes back in time. And it seems like history is repeating itself in one way, shape, or form or another with the way that we look at the world and the way that people perceive certain groups of people in the world. At one time, you would have thought that all black people were gangbangers. All Mexicans were immigrants. All white people were racists. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of the problem. We put people in a bunch and we just go with it. We say, well, because you're this, then you have to be that. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the case. That's why I made the statement that I said earlier about the Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter people, man. I'm not against people that stand with Black Lives Matter. I'm against Black Lives Matter standing against everything. I'm against the organization. Love the people because they're just misled. That's all that is. I don't hate Democrats. I can't stand Democrat policies, Democrat politics. You know what I'm saying? Not a person that's a Democrat. I separate the two. All right? If anyone else concerned about what's going to be taught to our children in school, definitely, which is why my kids aren't in school. I'm homeschooling them. I'm not doing it. I refuse. Straight up, I'm not letting my kids be indoctrinated to believe the things that we just got done talking about. And that's another thing. That's a whole nother topic for another show. Because we are over our time right now. We stayed a little later. But it's the damn truth, man. It is the damn truth. They are indoctrinating not just our kids, but society through the media. They're indoctrinating us and planting beliefs into our head. And to a person that doesn't look into things, for a person that doesn't study outside of what they watch on the news, you're gonna be misinformed and led to believe a certain thing and have a certain emotional reaction to the thing that they, that they show to you. So I'm telling you guys to wise up. Don't watch the news. Turn that shit off. Don't watch it. Boycott the news. That's what I have not watched the news once. People send me clips. Russo sends me clips. Angry Viking sends me clips. Corey sends me clips. Erica sends me clips. Streetlights send me clips about things that's going on in the world. I have not turned the news on. I will not leave it on. I won't even go past the station so they can say they got a fucking click from me. Not doing it. That being said, you guys, it's been a really good show. My final thoughts to you guys: unite under a banner of unity, regardless of a person's color, regardless of their job description, the uniform that they wear, regardless of their political affiliation, regardless of their fucking hair color, regardless of their religion. None of it matters. Unite under a banner of good. What is good for our country? What is good for us as people in this country? Unite under a banner of brotherhood, sisterhood, for the good. That's it. Leave everything else alone. Let it be. That being said, love you guys. If you have not already, go over to my man Corey on his YouTube channel. It's Just Face It, Corey. All right. Go over to Be the Changes page. Also has a YouTube channel, but on Facebook, you can find him at Be the Change. All right. That's where we do a lot of things too. It's just like my page, Streetlights. All right. Chris, you got a page that you want somebody to follow you at?
Yeah, it's called Speak Your Mind. We've been getting it going. John T just helped me with it, and hopefully within the next week or so, we'll be putting out something similar to this. So you can follow me on Facebook, and I'm on YouTube.
Good. Y'all heard it. You already know where to follow me at because you're here now. But if you haven't already, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because that's where I'm going to be putting a lot more of my content. Normally, I would be on Facebook right now, but I'm serious about this whole boycott thing. I'm trying to break away from Facebook slowly but surely. As long as I can get all you guys to come with me, I'm going to stop using Facebook in the near future. Unite, don't fight, be a street light, because only you can be the change that you want to see in the world. And when you get too stressed out, remember, vote Trump 2020. Like how I did that right there? Like how I did that right there. You guys get a chance, man. Go over and check out the interview that I did today with Angry Viking. He is on YouTube. Go to Angry Viking. You'll see the video that me and him did earlier today. It was great. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless you. Our country ain't done yet. We got a lot to do. I'm calling right now for Code Red. I'll talk to you guys more about that on another video, but Code Red is what's going on in my mind right now and what I'm going to be pushing until the election and then after. All Dems got to go. Code Red, baby. Trump 2020.